Hi everyone, I'm Jay and this is the Camden Stitch. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for bearing with me. I know I haven't been around much lately, but I've been sewing lots and lots and lots. And today is the first part of two videos which are going to tell you everything I made in September and October. I made very little in September. I think I only made 3 items because one of them was a coat, which obviously took quite a while. And then in October, it was the exact opposite. I made about 20 items. So I decided to do a 2-part vlog showing you in this first part some of the items I made, all of the items I made in September and some of the items I made in October. And then the second part of the vlog is going to be focusing on a lot of items I made in October, which are all hacks of the Freya sweater. I made 11 different variations of the Freya sweater or dress from Tilly and the Buttons. In the new year, I'm going to be releasing a series of vlogs showing you how to hack patterns and introducing you to basics of pattern cutting. And the Freya dresses that I made, I have filmed the details of how I made them and how I hacked them for that series. But just for now, I'm just going to be showing you the garments. I spent a very busy day the other day trying on and photographing about 20 items, and man, I was knackered by the end of it. So without further ado, at the end of September I made this dress, and it seems so crazy because it went very quickly from summer, sort of Indian summer, to chilly autumn weather, and I made this dress right at the very end of the summer, and within a period of about a week it was kind of consigned to the summer clothes pile. But I like it very much. I like the style. It's obviously just a plain sort of t-shirt cut, but very easy to wear. This is a just viscose that I got from Abercan in Manchester a while ago. It's just a sort of random graphic sort of print, and I lined it in a cotton voile, and I have no idea why I did this, dear reader. I finished the lining right at the bum point, you can't see here. The lining stops there, and I think I must have been being really stingy in trying to save fabric, or maybe there was just a cut that was left over or something, I don't know. But I finished the lining I finished the neckline by lining it, and finished the lining at the most stupid point, so it is slightly visible, the hem of the lining, but it doesn't really matter. And what it means is that I can wear this and it's quite cool without needing to wear a slip underneath, because obviously it's for the summer. The pattern for this, bizarrely, is my trusty old dress from the August Birder magazine. Now, it might not look like the same dress, but it is. Obviously the sleeves are chopped off, there isn't any elastic in the sleeves, and there's no elastic in the waist, but I'd got the pattern pieces there already. When I'd made those original dresses, I'd tried them on during the fitting stage just for the hem length, things like that, and thought to myself as I tried them on, oh, I really like that style of dress like that. So I thought to myself, why bother going to the hassle of buying a pattern of that style or drafting a pattern of that style when I've got this already cut out. I know it fits me well. Bish bosh banana, here we go. I think I'm going to probably make quite a few of these. I've already got a pattern for a sort of t-shirt dress, but this is a great woven dress, and yeah, I really like that. I think next year that will get quite a bit of wear. So that was September. Now there was one more dress that I made in September, and I think I have mentioned it on these vlogs because I think I wore it on one of them, and that is this vintage pattern that I made from a piece of scuba that I was very kindly, I was going to say gifted, and I thought actually grammatically that word is not a verb. It was very kindly given to me by Laura, who is Sewn and Shown, and we sometimes refer to her as the other Laura, quite meanly really. You're not the other Laura, because she's not Specky Seamstress Laura. Anyway, hi Laura. And yeah, she really kindly gave me this purple scuba over the summer. I made it into this vintage dress pattern with these lovely French darts. It fits me great, and if you remember my autumn sewing plans, you will see that I had plans to make loads of these in lots of different colours. I haven't got round to that yet, but I did make 11 frayers, so come on. Now let's get on to the big news. I made a big old coat with a big beautiful cerise lining and obviously some patent leather trim because, you know, keep it classy, people. I really owe a debt of gratitude to Shona, who was running the, what was it called, Sew Everyday September competition. Not competition, Instagram challenge. If you're not familiar with this sort of thing, if you're not familiar with this sort of challenge, what it is every day, whoever's running the challenge, in this case Shona, will give a prompt about, I don't know, repairs, current make, whatever, and it's a great way to meet other sewists, connect with other sewists, etc. Now I didn't join in every day because I want to manage the amount of time I spend on social media. One day there was one of the prompts was called something like procrastinating, what are you putting off? And I joined in for that day, and I realised that I've been putting off this coat for over a year. I've had the pattern out, I traced the pattern out, I've had the fabric out. I couldn't cut it out when I wanted to because I realised I didn't actually have quite enough fabric for that. And when I realised that I'd been procrastinating about this coat for a long time, I actually decided to put all my other projects on one side and crack on with it and make it. So I went ahead and I made it. It took me about a week to make. I actually used this fabric which I'd bought for my shop. I'd advertised it at one of my sales and nobody had bought it. Now, maybe it's a bit of a Marmite fabric. It's kind of like a boucle, but these in-betweeny bits are like a coated fabric, almost like a coated denim, so it gives it a little bit of a sheen. And yeah, maybe it's a bit of a Marmite, sort of love it or hate it, but I really liked it. I'm trying to show you the wrong side because the wrong side is quite cool as well. Anyway, I'd got 5 meters of it, and it was the only fabric that I'd got enough to make this coating, because I think this coat takes about 3.5 meters, and I never buy 3.5 meters of coating. So I decided to just go ahead and make it. I know it's a vintage pattern, but it was the right size for me, and as coats go, pretty simple. Patch pockets, no darts, no real shaping. It's got these slightly sort of low cut sleeves. It was really, really straightforward. The only thing that was not straightforward or was new to me was sewing with faux leather. Never sewn with it before. This is just some faux leather that I bought from Minerva a while ago. Just cheapy, quite cheapy, nasty PVC, and I don't think I'm ever going to use it for anything apart from trim, unless I decide to make myself a Flasher's Mac. And this I made myself, and I did it by making a tube and turning it out, but it does mean that you've got the seam allowance creating a bit of a lump there. So I thought to myself, I need to buy some proper patent leather trim. I looked on eBay and it was really expensive. I can't remember what it was, but it was a few pounds a metre, and I knew I needed more than that. Went to Walthamstow, 50p a metre, bosh. So that is proper patent leather bias strip. So that was much easier. And yeah, I mean, you just sew it on, it's dead easy. I used the Teflon foot. You've just got to make sure that you don't mess it up the first time round. And actually, I don't know if you can see that stitching. Let me see if I can get it in focus. The stitching is actually brilliant. I'm really pleased with it. And that's where I turned over the end and sewed it under. I don't think you can even see on camera. Yeah, I made a nice job of it. Really pleased. But the bit that I'm most proud of was it was unlined, and the insides didn't look great, and I really wanted to line it, and so I drafted a lining and lined it myself, and it came out great, and I'm really pleased that I did that. This is the lining. There's a little pleat there in the middle. So when I started sewing, I thought that to line a coat, you just duplicated the original pieces, chopped off the facings, and basically made the coat again inside. And I didn't realise that parts of the lining, you need extra ease in order to, I don't know, to stop the lining from ripping when it moves about, I guess. I don't really understand, but I do know that. I actually know because Win Michelle, who I follow on Instagram, posted a little tutorial once explaining how to draft a lining. And so I knew that I needed to do some certain things. I knew that the lining needed to be longer at the hemline. And actually, when I've looked at a ready-to-wear coat that I have, there's actually a little kind of pleat there to give it some extra ease, but I didn't do that because I didn't know how to do it. There weren't any. The problem is with drafting your own lining is there's no instructions how to do it. You just got to vibe it basically. But yeah, I added the pleat in the back. I added a bit of extra ease at the underarm. I followed a tutorial on Blueprint. It's not a tutorial, it's just a blog post, but I will post a link to it below. But anyway, it wasn't scary, it was easy. Yeah, it's an extra stage to do when you've already done everything, but you know, it finishes it off really nicely, doesn't it? I mean, and a black and white coat is a little bit boring, and so to be able to put in the pink lining just kind of, for me, really set it off, and it made it feel much more like my own. So that was what I spent most of September sewing. I'm really chuffed with it. It's, to be honest, I used this fabric because it was there. This is the sort of coat I would wear if I was going to the office every day. For my life as it is, it's a little bit formal for me. So I'm pleased I did it, but I actually don't know how much wear this coat's going to get. I've worn it twice, but it was basically a lesson, wasn't it, in coat sewing, and I'm really proud and pleased with that one. Sorry about the squeaking. So, high on the success of that coat, I then decided to make myself a moto jacket. I have wanted to make one for ages. I had a couple of patterns. I had this Kwik Sew pattern and I had the Mimi G pattern. The Mimi G does not have the kind of traditional moto jacket collar with the reveres and this bit that pins back, and so I decided to use the Kwik Sew pattern, which looks pretty hideous from the pattern envelope, but I have noticed actually that the last issue of Love Sewing that came out features a thread count pattern, which I've checked, and it's exactly the same as the Kwik Sew pattern. It's just been reissued, rebranded, released under another name. It's exactly the same pattern pieces, same instructions, everything. Anyway, I've done a review of this pattern, which I will be posting as soon as I've had a chance to edit it and get it up. But that talks more about kind of the construction of this jacket. I have to say, I mega love it. Now, somebody, and I'm so sorry I can't remember your name, but somebody messaged me to show me a jacket on Net-a-Porter that's retailing at mega bucks, silly money, and it is so like this jacket. And I just think with sewing, that is fantastic, isn't it? That you can sew yourself something that's so fantastic, and this probably cost me, with the fabric and the zips, the hardware and everything, maybe a tenner at a push. And time-wise, it probably only took me like a weekend's worth of sewing. It's not a complicated pattern. Again, I lined this, and it doesn't have a lining pattern, but I basically used the same tutorial that I mentioned. Sorry, it's very squeaky, but when you're out and about you don't notice that. Ian does mention that you will hear me coming a mile off, but I only really notice it in the house. So yeah, I lined it in some leopard print, which if you're in the UK and I mention Kat Slater, you'll know who I'm talking about. She's known for wearing kind of loud and garish clothes, and this is very Kat Slater. But I love it. It's also very me. that's my proudest make to date, definitely. And also it's had loads and loads of wear because it's really warm, because it's kind of the PU has got this slightly kind of fabricy backing, and then it's got lining as well, so yeah, keeps you dry. It's just a lovely, lovely jacket, and I would love to make that again. I actually, again, this was a toile, and I have bought some black faux leather for ages, and I've got two types. I've got one type that's quilted and one type that's plain, and I would really love to make a moto jacket mixing up the quilted and the plain. I just think it'd be really cool, and I've got all the kit to do that. I just need to get my bum in gear and get organised. Okay, shall we go here again? I'm not going to linger too much on this because this particular dress has taken too much out of my time, energy, vlog time, etc. You saw my wilder horrors. I made it okay in the end, but I've decided I'm not going to wear it. If you want this dress, please message me and you can have it for the price of postage. Otherwise, it's going to the Mind Shop. The only reason I'm not giving it to the Mind Shop straight away is because I don't think it looks that great on the hanger. But it is a really nice dress. I've just decided it's not really me. So that really sums up my Wilder gown experience. To be continued in the summer when I'm going to remake it in a different fabric, and we'll see how we get on with it then. Right, now this looks great on camera, doesn't it? Looks very vibrant. It's actually almost as vibrant as that, but it's a dress that I've wanted to make for ages, and this is the picture that it's modelled on, and it's a vintage pattern which I decided to have a go at self-drafting. I filmed a whole vlog about my process of drafting this and all the ups and downs and wrongs and rights of the drafting process. And what I finished up with in the end, and that will be coming to the vlog probably next year. Finally, we're going to finish with a bit of a bang. You may have seen me post this on Instagram this week. It is this absolute, I don't know, is it a beauty or is it a horror? Well, I posted it on Instagram, and Sarah Pascoe, the comic, who I know a little bit, said that it's the best dress that she's ever seen, and I was very, very pleased. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. It is adapted from a Simplicity pattern, which is kind of a summer dress. It was part of their summer release, I think. But following the Wilder gown, I was still trying to master the kind of nightgown vibe, but this has got a lot more fitting in it. It's fitted from under the bust, Empire line, and then it sort of fits quite around the waist. It's fairly fitted around the waist, and then it's got a gentle flare before it comes out to a frill, and it's got a vague sort of flamenco vibe to it, which, to be honest, I really wanted to avoid, but just the style, I thought this is probably as close as I'm going to get to the nightgown vibe. Now you can see that the neckline on this dress is completely different to the one on the pattern, and that's because I liked the dress, but I knew that I was never going to wear that in the winter because it's obviously a summer dress. So I drafted this myself, and what I did was I used my bodice block to draft the pattern pieces and fit them in with the waistline pieces according to the rest of the pattern and make them fit the sleeves, etc. So there was a little bit of kind of finagling about, but it did take me ages. Again, I filmed the process. I will be releasing that next year if I can fit it into the series. Yeah, I'll be releasing it at some point. Because I think that one of the most useful things I've found in learning pattern drafting is how to alter commercial patterns to my own block shapes and sizes, because I don't have the skills to draft everything from scratch. What I really want to do is take a commercial pattern and be able to make it fit me without having to do lots of faffing about. Now, it did take me quite a while, but the amazing thing about it was after I'd done all the faffing about with the flat pattern, I sewed it up, tried it on, and it fitted me perfectly straight out of the box. And that is a great feeling, knowing that all the construction time that you're putting in, it's not going to be wasted. You're not going to finish up spending ages constructing something only to try it on and be very disappointed because it doesn't fit you. Now, obviously, the big thing with this dress is the fabric. This fabric is from Walthamstow Market. It was £3 a metre. It's a stretch crepe and it's faulty. It's got loads of little runs in it. So there is loads of them. Now, because this dress is such a boom dress, I don't think anybody's going to notice a few tiny little runs. And to be honest, I bought the fabric. I thought, whoa, I don't know if I love that or hate it. Had this idea for this dress. I actually sketched out a couple of different versions, laying out the stripes in different ways. There is a centre front seam, or did I cut in the centre front seam? Can't remember. But I didn't know whether or not to have this chevron effect, because I wasn't sure with the wavy stripes whether the chevron would look too much. But then I just figured, well, you know, this dress is too much of too much, isn't it? I thought, why go half measures? It's going to be absolutely bloody mental anyway. Let's just go in full throttle with it. It was a fun game laying out all those pattern pieces. It took me a good 3 or 4 hours to do it. And then because crepe's really shifty, I had to super cut it carefully and then sew it super carefully to try and get the stripes to match. So what with all the faffing about with the pattern and faffing about with the fabric, it did take me a couple of days to sew that up. But I like the dress and it's all ready now, ready to go. I've got a couple of other fabrics that I would like to sew up that dress in. And yeah, I really like it. I'm really pleased with it. I'm dead chuffed with the sewing that I've done in October and September, because I feel like I've kind of leveled up a bit. I feel like I've leveled up with my pattern drafting and with my sewing skills. Coat making and drafting your own patterns and adapting your own patterns. I'm just really pleased. I feel like I've moved up a bit of a level, and you know, I've only been sewing about less than 18 months, I think. I do sew every day, so please, if you've just started sewing and you feel like you're not progressing as fast as I am, please don't compare yourself to other people. I don't have a job to go out to. I sew every single day. I get up in the morning and sew. I have to rest a lot of the time, so get up, sew for an hour, 2 hours, rest for 2 or 3 hours, get up, sew again. So I do keep on plugging away at it, which is how I manage to turn out so many garments and how I have so much time to spend sewing. But yeah, don't envy a life where you're too poorly to go out to work, because it's not fun. Sewing keeps me sane, quite literally. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of what I made in October, and I hope you're ready for the next onslaught of Freya dresses, tops and general fun that will be coming up in the next vlog. Now, I'm going to go into my subscribe, like and subscribe spiel, but I'm fed up of saying it. You know what to do. I love it when you click the thumbs up. YouTube loves it. It promotes my video more in the list, so more people see me, then I get more subscribers, and that makes me think that I'm not just talking to myself. So please do it. I really appreciate it, and it makes a real difference to me. Lots of love from me in Camden. Let me know what you've been up to in the comments. I shall see you very soon. Bye.